Okay. In the other method I showed to deal with creating a face, I did say that I was going to show this second method, which is something I've seen lots of tutorials of in the past, and it's actually, instead of doing it flat and then moving the points, it's moving the points as you go along. Personally, I think this is actually easier than doing it flat and then pulling the points, which can lead to you thinking you're getting all things wrong, or you're getting things bent out of shape. So without further ado, before I do this, there's one thing I did want to show. This is the mesh that I'm going to work it off, and that is when you select some points using the C button there. Actually, let's get the old things on, shall we? And that's a bit bigger. And close that. And you've selected them. Now, if you've got a numeric keypad on a full-size keyboard, you can press the period full stop key, and it will center all the ones you've got selected. Now you see I've got these selected, so it's centered the average. Deselect them, press it again, and it zooms right on there. Now if you are using a laptop that doesn't have a numeric keypad, simply go to View and choose View Selected. So if there is a keyboard shortcut that isn't being used, so I'd say if we do Control-Alt-L, which I currently have import a lightweight object because that's where I use it from, but you just find a keyboard shortcut that isn't being used. I don't know, Alt, I don't know, U, nah. So we'll say Alt U, so you can just go View Selected, right mouse button, and you can change the shortcut and make it something else. But I say, failing that, you just go into View and View Selected, and that's a great way of zooming it in. Then you can zoom out, or you can just go View All, which is the home key, which you should have regardless of whether it's a laptop or not. So Home or View Selected, Home. You can just select those two and then go View Selected. So again, just if you haven't got a numeric keypad. So right back to the original plot, which is to build this bit by bit. So I'm actually going to do is I'm going to start with a circle. I'm going to choose a circle, do F6 because I'm working in 2.79. I'm going to make that 13 points because there's 13 points around the eye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So right, then I'm going to leave it with it placed at the center and go straight into object mode. I'm going to scale that right down. Keep scaling it down and go R minus 90 in that view so it's painted forward, and G, drag it over here, scale it on the Z, scale, and just move it roughly in place. Then I'm just going to start dragging the points to where I need them to be. I'm going to have to move some of these around because there's more points on the bottom than there is on the top. So I'm actually going to be pulling some of these from the top. And near as damn it, there we go. I'm going to select everything. I'm going to press E and then straight away press S and then drag out like that. And I'm just going to get it to roughly there. Then I scale on the Z and I drag that out a bit. Then I go in the side view, select everything, G, Y, and pull it forward. And then I'm going to do view selected. GY, and I'm just going to place that there so that they line up with this edge. And I'm going to take these two edges, I'm going to GY, I'm going to pull them back here. That edge, GY, pull that back there. Now it's just select the points. So we'll take these first. That's alright. That one. And I'll just GY because I've got it roughly where I want. I'll just tweak it a bit closer. Get these roughly on these lines. Obviously, because I'm doing this to an actual wireframe image, this is much easier than trying to do it to just a sketch. But what I'd suggest is, as I mentioned in the other video, is use this technique with this background a couple of times just to get familiar with the whole process and the topology. And so you know exactly where you're going with these. You've got marker points to work to. And then once you've done this 2 or 3 times and you find yourself breezing through it pretty quickly, then you can switch to doing something like a sketch. And what I'm doing here is I'm trying to line up these as best I can, and I'm always just doing GY in the side view because, as I say, I can see they're lined up nicely there. So just lining these up like this, and that actually needs to come out. That needs to go to there. And again, with this being a mesh, and you are going one way and then the other, it's immediately obvious if you're getting it roughly right. The back bit you're going to have to eyeball to a degree, but it should be close. So if you look at that, it's not looking too horrendous visually. So just check these. GY again. Yeah, we're all happy. Now, but again, bear in mind this looks like it goes inwards, so you can then just select the outer ring with alt click E and scale it up, and then again do the same thing, just drag them here like this. Just move them here initially, and then you can go back and refine the positions in the other one, and by selecting the individual ones you can see where they're working from. So like here. So if we take, say, this one, again GY goes back here. Actually that should be the, yep, that's right, that's actually lined up almost by accident. So GY, pull that forward a bit, GY, pull that forward a bit. I can adjust the opacity of this side view. Side, just drag the opacity down and up so you can see what you're playing with. I'm going to be providing a base of this file with the base mesh I've created and these wireframes for you to work from. So again, GY, pulling it out. And again, you go in here for a sort of more reasonable look. I mean, that looks reasonable on the the bottom, so let's have a look at the top bit now. GY, pull that back. Now this, I think, GY, I think will go in here. This is my gut instinct, is that this is going to be like the bit over the eye. Like that. So it'd be the recess over the eye. So again, Alt E S, drag out. And I'm not bothered about this coming too far, just make sure it doesn't go to the middle for now. And just click, control click, pull them down a bit. Pull these roughly where I want them to be, just quickly. And this is all there is, it's this same process over and over and over again. But so if we select that, my GY, that tells me that lines up with her, so GY, that lines up with her, we know that goes here. Again, do the same here, just get these roughly lined up. Made a mistake there, select that. Just did Control Z a couple of times there. If you accidentally press Y before you press the G, you end up with an additional point. So just undo it a couple of times and you'll be fine. Right, how's that looking? That's a bit not quite right. That middle, these bits here are a bit messy. Again, GY. Let's get this relatively straight. This could be a case of just, and again I know I'm following that point, so just that looks more or less where I want it to be. Okay, now we can start adding more faces. We can actually just take one of these polygons if we wanted, or just an edge. We just take a edge like that, Shift D, and just drag and position it roughly here. Then point mode, just line those up. And take the edge, extrude that to there, back to point mode. Select them, select GY, and again view selected, GY, go back here. Just position that. GY, that's there. And actually, it's further over here. It's this one we want. I can tell that just by where the points are setting. It just didn't look like it was lining up there, so it stood to reason that this must be the thing. So do an E, drag that to there roughly. Now what we'll do is add a modifier at this point. Add our mirror, turn on clipping. Now G, there we go. Now GY, pull that out. And that, I'm just doing a G there. Alright. Same thing, extrude here. Locate with one point, roughly GX in this window, locate with one point, and just move the other point. do the same again. E, locating with 1 point. GY in this window, locate with 1 point. And then drag the other point up. GY here, and that point goes there. And this is rough, you're going to have to eyeball this to a degree because it's such a small polygon. E to move that up. Pull that down. Roughly. And again, pull these in. Like that. Select that. E, pull that to there. GY, pull it over to there. Drag that point up. Drag it up here. E, drag. Line up a point. GX. Line up a point. Move the other one. Move the other one. E, drag. Line up a point. GX. Line up a point, click. Drag that down a bit. Select E and just pull across, and then just pull that point down like that. And maybe pull that point slightly in. So there's the beginning of your face. We'll do a save. Oh, press it, the numpad 0 then. So again, if you haven't got numpad 0, you can just choose view, left, right, back, top, bottom. And then you can choose Perspective ortho to toggle that. You want it in orthographical, then you want the front. So again, do the same sort of thing with everything. So like we could take this edge, and I'll zoom in here. Extrude this way, GY, pull it out to about there, that's more or less right. Extrude and pull to the left. GY in this window, pull that way. Now just tweak these points. Now that's telling me visually that those don't come too far forward. Yeah, they don't. I think they need to go back, so I'm going to GY, I'm going to push them back. Then I'm going to select these two, and GY, and push that back to there, and then go back into front view. And in fact, I think that is about there. It's hidden from view. No, that's not right. If I extrude here and pull to the middle, that's the middle. So that actually comes out to here. This is where it's handy having both views. Pull that, so select these two. GY, pull that out. Pull that out. Select them two. GY, pull that out. That makes sense. Select those two. I think there's an extra cut there that we're not seeing because it's straight on. So I'm going to GY on here, and I'm going to say they do not belong there. They belong there. In fact, yes, actually. Let's take that one. I'm going to GY on that, and that lines up with there. So that must line up. Yeah, so that one goes to here, and that one goes to there. And that's where I used both that one, where I could only see part of it, and this one to work out the exact positions. And this then like that. So I'm going to take a point there, and I'm just going to extrude that down, and I'm going to GY there and pull that out, and that tells me where that is. So I think there's something not right there. We're missing an extra cut, definitely. Definitely missing an extra cut. Or is that just a really big polygon? Let's have a look. Let's drag that forward. Where does it line up? Aha! That lines up to the GY, and that lines up to the. Select that GY. Now this is making more sense, so we select that one. So I'll select that one, GY. And you see how now it starts to make sense by doing it one at a time. GY, and that's now right, I think. And that one, GY, yeah, there we go. See, now it's lining up in these areas and there. So while it initially looked like there wasn't enough geometry, there actually is. So shift, click these and press F, and that makes that face, and that's right. So I can just take those two, I can extrude them down and pull, and because it's clipped it will scale as it pulls down. GY, pull that out roughly there. E, pull them down, and then just move these and just pull that out. Again, select them, E, and pull that down. Pull that here, pull that down. And now that particular one I'm going to GY and pull that in because it's going to be the front of the nose, so it's going to be at that angle. Select those two. E, drag on the X. GY. I'm going to select that. Shift select that and Alt merge at last. And drag that over. So I can select those two. 4, press F, and I've got a face. So now we just carry on doing exactly the same thing. Now you can do individual points if you want to get a pattern. So say I take that point there, I can extrude that down. Extrude it. GX. Extrude, click. GX. E, drag, click. GX. You get the idea. Or E, drag, click. And I'm not pressing the mouse button, GY. So E and immediately move the mouse, don't click it, just move it. Then click, go to the other one, and GY. And that's created that line edge. Do the same here. E, drag, click. GX. Just G and move that a little bit. So E, drag, click, GX. E, drag, click. That's more or less alright. E, drag, click, GX. E, drag, click, GX. E, drag, click, GX. And then I can just have a look at those, go into edge mode, select 2, F, select 2, F, 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 F. And there's that line of polygons. Or you can just do it again, polygon by polygon, edge by edge, so E, and again GX. And I'm only, again, roughly getting these in place for now. I'll line that up. Like that. now I can just choose these points. I'm going to move these by hand. And then I can just select edge, face, 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 face. Do the same again. I can select this, pull it up. So that one's right. So that one actually goes to there. So that one goes out to there. And that's better. That makes more sense. So that one goes out to there. And again, like before, I was lining up what I know to be true. And because I know it lines up here, it's only on the y-axis, it makes sense here. So that's okay. That's alright. Again, GY, that just pulls it out a bit more. So take that, I can E drag that up, and just pull that up like that. E drag them up, GX, pull that up, GY, and just pull these points down like that. E, get that roughly, GY, get that roughly. Now, in this instance, again, because I've built this off a mesh, you're fortunate I can do a 7, and I can go into top view here, so I'm still lining up. So I can select those and drag those across. GX, G, 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 go, E, GX, because we know this point lines up there, so it's got to line up there. So I just spin these around till they match roughly where we're going, and that's alright with that. So we go 1 for the front view again, and there you've got the form of that. Otherwise you're going to have to eyeball it and just look at it and see if it's got a nice slope on it. So to a degree you could call this cheating because you've got a full mesh to work from. That's why I suggest working it this way to start with, so that you know where you're coming from, as it were. Right, so again, line up there and have a look in here. GX, G here, GX, G, GX, like that. And again, select these, E, pull them over, GX, they're just coming out basically. So again, just positioning it here, select those two, just GX, and with that sort of angle, have a quick nose on the top, yeah, happy. Again, E, position, GX, be about that one there, so it's going out relatively smoothly. Now, I also have the back, so I can switch to the back view here if I want. E, drag that to there, that to there. Zoom in a bit. Little tweaks. So not necessarily, I'm just trying to line up so I can GX. I'm going to go with this point like that. That looks about right. So E, pull over, GX, that's that one here. So I pull that up, pull it over there. That's fine. E, pull it across. I'm gonna go like that. And GX. That's that one. So E, pull it across. GY, pull it out there. E, pull it across. GY. That's roughly where the head is. Right, I can select those four, do a face there, and select that edge. I've only selected a point, so I'll just move that up. GY, be about there. So I'll select that one. E, drag that up. Wait. Sorry. I was clicking on this side and it's not moving because that's the side that isn't real, so I've moved this one. When I say not real, it's the side that's actually mirrored. If I disable the mirror, you can see that, so it's only this side that's real. So F for that. Back view again, same thing. F for that. So that's the back view of that. 3, 1. Right. So I could just select this edge. Rod 7 and 3. And I can E, pull that forward. GZ, move that up. And because I'm on the top view, I'm working on the Z now. So E and pull it forward. GZ, because as I say, we're working on the top view. E, pull it forward. GZ, like that. E, pull it forward. GZ. Now we can go to the front view here, so I'll do front and side because that's what we've been working with at the moment. So I'm just going to G, reposition that slightly. I can E, pull that down. Now GY again because I'm in the side view. E and pull it down at scale. GY again because I'm in the side view. Select them, go into edge mode, select that and that. Face, select that. So what we can do is we can select these points, 1, 2, 3, 4, F for face, 1, 2, F for face, select that edge, and then again assuming you've got the F2 thing active. So it's the same here, we're just going to F. So there's that. That shows you how quick it is once you've got that going. Okay, we want the front view, or do we want the back view? I think we want the back view. I'm going to take this edge. Yeah, I'm going with the back view. Extrude that down. Point mode, drag them about. Alright, that one needs to go. GX, that needs to go in. Select them. E, line that up. Line them up here. And line them up here. Same thing. E. I'm selecting 2 points here and dragging. So again, GX, pull that in. Select to that and that. E, drag it down. GX, drag it in. Pull that there. GX, pull it in there. E, drag it down. GY. E, drag it down. GX. And just quickly pull these points as we need them. Like that. So that's that one done. Do the same here, these 2 points. I'll do 1 now. 7, we can't see it. 1, so this is going to be an eyeball job, really. So E, pull it down. GX. E, pull it down. GX. You're just trying to go with the form of the face now. I mean, this might be a little bit of tweaking goes on here. Oopsie daisy, I didn't let go. Select these 2. Again, GX. Pull it in. Sort of that sort of thing. Going with, I think. A, pull that down. Again, GX. Pushing it in. That. And we can take that single point and extrude that down. GX, pull it in, line it up. E and extrude down. Again, GX. Lining up as best we can each time with the form of the face. Okay, so again, switch to edge mode. Face, 2 edges, face. Face, 2 edges, face. Those 2, face, face, face. Them 2, face. That, face. And I see we've got a point here. Where does that go? Again, GX, pull that in, that goes to about there. That. What's that one? Again, GX, that goes in. Like that. GX, that comes out. Pull it forward a bit. And I'm going to guess that that actually goes roughly there. That's just guesswork on my part. And again, F. Yeah, that looks about right. How does it look visually? We've got a dint. Now we have got a dint there, so I'd select that, do an Alt S, just to form a bit. And again, same with a single point, just Alt S, which is like plumping and fattening. Like that. That looks a little better. And actually I would tend to pull that one in a little bit as well, just a tiny bit. Hold shift as I'm doing it to do tiny mugs, and the same there. Alt S. Oh, Alt S. Okay. Like that. It's a bit tidier. It's not as obvious, and now we've got, select those four and press F. One. Save before we go any further. So again, same thing again. We take these, zoom in. Let's take that edge, extrude it up, get it roughly where you want, and don't forget there's a dint there because of the way the face is. So extrude that up. I can scale that on the Z actually to flatten it out or invert the scale. Then GY, I can pull that back to here like that. E, scale Z, and the G to move. That looks about right. E, pull it up to the scale Z. You can only get away with this on the seam because it'll never come off this axis. It'll always stay on that axis. So again, that's about right. So E, pull that out to here. Move that up to there. Actually, that G, that's about there. So we can't actually see this now. It's the next one that moves up a little bit. So because that one's more or less level. So you prove that up. There we go. And then F for a face there. Right, I'm going to take that face, I'm going to extrude that over here. GY, line up that one point as always. Go into point mode. Line them up like that. Select them two, extrude it back. GX, that goes out to there, and I can extrude this way, and this being the nose, I'm going to make a guess that that goes in slightly, so we'll GX that a little bit like that. Select those, so make a face. Oh, selected the wrong four. Select those four and make a face. Right, again, look in the front view. I'm going to take that, I'm going to extrude that down to the G or Y so it flattens out. Move that, GY, that looks about right. 4, press F. Yep, that's making sense to me. And that makes sense. So these four, actually what we need is take that, extrude that down, again side view, GY, I think that would look about right to be honest. Just like that, pull it in. Does that make sense? It sort of does. Like that, yeah. Right. except it doesn't. I think is that right? Yeah, actually that is right. Then we've got these four here which make a face. That's better. Yeah, that makes perfect sense now. Take that, extrude it down. GX, so we'll get into about there. Then we want to make a face out of them four. Again, that looks right. So select these two, extrude them this way. Move it here. You're always looking for where's the easiest if you're coming across awkward bits of geometry. Then pick an easy bit until you reach a point where that awkward bit suddenly makes sense. Like I'm selecting here and pulling these across, because this is an easy bit. And again, same here, GY. And just G, position that. So E like that, locate it. GX in this window. Drag that one up. Drag it up here. F for face. And that tells me that one needs to come back to there, like that. So that one needs to come back to there. And you see what I mean? How you, by lining up some geometry, the other geometry suddenly begins to make a lot more sense, rather than trying to tackle an awkward bit to start with. So I can go into edge mode, select these two, press F, select that, press F. And then when you look here, it stands to reason that that's a polygon. So when you go back into front view, that edge, we tweak it a bit, defines the underside of the nose. So I can take that one edge, I can extrude it up, GY here, and that's where I'm playing with. So 1, 2, 3, 4, F. And then edge modes like that and that. So F. And again do the same here. I can just extrude that up. GY in this window. Turn to F. And then those two edges. F. Like that. So that we've got a point there. So if we turn that into a point, it's that one. That needs moving down to here, like that. Yeah. And that GX, that comes in. Yeah, that comes in. So GX, that actually comes out as well. It's forms a better angle than that. That's a tidier angle thing. GX, I'm just seeing where this is. Aha! There, you see how that angle now comes in there as well. And that is a more straight look from there, and that still looks right from that angle. So I'm going to go with that. Then select that edge and that edge. Press F. And press F. There's the nose. Right. Happy days. What have we got going on here? We've got something wrong here. That's alright. That's alright. So what's another thing you can do? I can take this edge and that edge, F, and then I can actually just Control R and then just move these points manually. So it's instead of having to do building 2 there, and now I can just select that, do F, F, and that's automatically filled in. So that's nice, as they say. So again, you can do the same sort of thing here. I can take that edge, I can extrude it down to here, like that. I can line this up, and I can just Control R, roughly place that. In this instance that's really easy because it just happens to be an ever so slight indent, so it's very straightforward. But you could do that anywhere. I could take this here, I could extrude this out to here, and then GX, so 1, 2, 3, like that. Pull that down, and I can just Control R, drag that up. Same again, Control R, like this, just tweaking this ever so slightly. Alright, then I could take that, 1, 2, 3, 4, F to face, 1, 2, 3, 4, F to face, 2, 3, 4, F to face. And there's that bit. And again, take an edge, extrude that down, GX, extrude that down, GY, 1, 2, 4, F, 1, 2, 3, 4, F, edge mode, tab, F, F. And if we actually come out, we activate the smooth, then we can see where we're getting. And you could even actually turn on a subsurf 1 by doing Control 1. That tells me that's not fully joined, so we can go in here and we can tell that by GG if I can move it. GG, there we go. GX. If I come out, no, we've got an edge there where we shouldn't have. And I see it, I see it. Turn off the mirror, and again delete that vertex, turn the mirror back on. There we go, and that's what's happened there. Is when I was doing I said earlier about doing a move, and I'd press the Y before I press the move. Now you can see here I've got a bit of an indent, so I can just Alt S that and hold the shift down. And there we go, that's much better. And I say shift with Alt S, as with everything, it reduces the save. It reduces the amount it moves. So okay, back to it. Select that edge, E, move it down, E, move it down, and select points, pull them across. And I'll actually just turn off the subsurface again for now, in the visual mode. Right. Now there's two ways you can go about this. You can do that and select it, or you could extrude this edge then, well, those points, if we take those and we extrude, I'm not going to extrude it all the way just to there, and then GX this way. I'm going to take that and that, I'm going to merge it last, and then just move this 1 point like that. Then again take that and just fill in those faces like that. And again the same, extrude down, zoom in so we can see what we're doing, extrude, again I'm only placing one point here, then extrude, extrude, and say the move here is effectively just moves the end point like that. And there we go. So like that, just F, 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 F. So just take that point, GY, pull that out, GY, pull that out, GY, pull that out, GY. In fact, just G on that one, pull it down, and a bit there as well. Say, not really important to be that precise on this because it's based on a model anyway, so. But, so we're almost done now, almost done. Right, now, this bit, we want this edge here, so we're going to extrude that back. Now most of the work here is in this view because it's not visible in there. And again, pull that back. The only thing we're doing here is just dragging those points because they're sticking out here. We're pulling them in so they form, as you can see, they should tidy there, so that means that's nice and tidy. So hopefully when I extrude down now, that lines up nicely like that. Extrude down, GY, and extrude down, like that. So we're happy. What we can do is actually just take that point, just tidy that up, and then just extrude that, because that's always going to be on the center axis anyway, so there's no movement going to be taking place in the front view for this one. So and again F, 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 and save. Do the same here. I'm going to extrude. GX. That's roughly right. And again, I'm only worrying about one point here to start with. Like that. Then I can just massage these points afterwards. GX, pull that in. Again, try to obey. Roughly where the details are. Like this. Right. extrude that, extrude it. It's GX. Okay, we're following the form of the face. Pull it down. GX, always following the form. Even when you can't see where the polygon should be, you're having to make best guesses on it. And this to me is the most logical place. And that would just to me makes perfect sense. So again, faces. Let's see if we can get away with F. No, it doesn't like that. It's trying to connect those two edges instead of those two. Now we can go. There we go. Do the same here. Do the same there. So initially you would think that the edges were doing a single face was slower, but it isn't. So let's take that edge. I'm actually going to look at the back now. I'm going to extrude that. Extrude. 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 Right. GX, pull that in. Pull that in. Pull that in. Pull that in. And that looks more or less right. Okay, just going to a little bit of tweaking here. I say it doesn't have to be this precise, but if you're following this, you may as well. So just do that. F F F F F F. Now, all I can do is E, pull that out. GX, pull that in. It's G, do the same. E, pull that in. GY, pull it out. And then that one. E, pull that out. GX, pull that in. Like that. Right, so again, like that, and that, F, that and that, F, that and that, F. Ooh, move something we shouldn't have done there, that's alright. Move it back, and zoom into it. And it goes there. That's all good. We're not lost. Right, turn the subdiv back on. And there's your face. And again, you just look at things and you think, oh, there's a teeny bit of a bump there. So just select those two. Let's turn it on and just do an alt test. Where the shift, just there we go. And there's the basis of the head. All done and dusted, and that was using a circle. So now I can come into hit the object here and call this head from circle. And if of a mind, I can also do hover over that and Control C, go into the mesh name, hover over that and Control V. And then we'll save that. And there we go. So I hope that helped you sort out the sort of topology of the head and that. As I say, do go over it a few times, just get familiar with the whole process, and at the end of the day, trust your eyes. That's it. See you next time.